From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, I'm Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Friday, April 28th. All right, the rain activity is going to become more isolated to scattered as we work through the Friday morning hours, and then a little more widespread rain will move into northern Indiana. We are going to stay isolated to scattered throughout Friday night, so that's the good news. Nothing's going to be a total washout. Highs are going to get into the upper 50s to low 60s as we lock in a lot of that cloud cover. As far as tomorrow's concerned, it'll be warmer, a mix in sun and clouds. There is going to be another round of scattered rain and storm chances, be mostly in play for Saturday afternoon and Saturday night. We are going to look to warm up into the upper 60s before that rain slides in. So again, not a total washout. If you have plans, don't cancel them. Might just have to take some breaks or pauses in between the scattered rain showers.
The budget that was just passed and the budget that I will gladly sign is not just your average, ordinary, typical two-year budget. It is a generational impact budget.
That was Governor Eric Holcomb. State lawmakers have passed a new two-year budget in a marathon session that lasted into the early hours of the morning. The House approved it on a 70-27 vote. The Senate vote was 39-10, both largely along party lines. One major change from the original plan, the budget boosts school funding by $1.5 billion. That's a $300 million bump from where the package stood this time yesterday. The Senate President Pro Tem, Roderick Bray, says lawmakers revised the plan after a projection showed funding for most Indiana school districts would increase less than 2% in the budget's second year.
When we started looking at it, it wasn't where we thought it was going to be, and it wasn't satisfactory to us. So we were going to take a very serious look at that without any calls, but we certainly got some calls, and I know I did from some of my constituent superintendents, and a lot of members did. So we were probably going to look at it anyway, but they certainly let us know they had an opinion on it.
Indiana's school voucher program will be expanded under the budget. That income limit for families of four to be eligible increases from $154,000 to $220,000. Democrats call the move fiscally irresponsible.
In families that make $220,000 a year, do you think they really need us to help them go to private school? And what does that say about what we're doing? I'm just flabbergasted at how we continue to go down this path.
The budget also includes the elimination of textbook fees, funding for Governor Holcomb's Public Health Commission, expansion of the Indiana 988 Crisis and Suicide Lifeline program, pay raises for state police, and funding for new equipment at volunteer fire departments.
I mean, when you watch him against the pressure in the pocket, just his movements in the pocket, feeling the rush, not seeing it, being able to get out of the pocket and create the explosive plays that he does is pretty dynamic.
He's a very poised young man, even though he hadn't had a lot of starts. Just the one thing that, I kept going back and watching, all his pressures, everybody that pressured him. And that's when you really saw his poise come to light.
This morning, the Colts have a new quarterback. The team picked former Florida Gator Anthony Richardson with the fourth pick in the first round of the NFL draft. Sports director Anthony Calhoun talked to Richardson right after the pick.
Hi, good morning here from Kansas City. What a night for your Indianapolis Colts with that fourth overall pick in this year's NFL draft. The Colts decide to go with the quarterback down south from Florida, the Gator, and Anthony Richardson as the number 4 pick in this year's NFL draft. And boy, was there a big reaction from Colts fans. Colts fans, many of them feeling really good about this pick because this young man is dynamic. He can beat you with his legs, his arm. He can do it all. Had a chance to go one-on-one with the new QB1 of your Indianapolis Colts. Congratulations, man. I know you were emotional when you got the call and came up on the stage. How does it feel to be a Colt?
It feels good, for one, to know that I'm a pro now, and two, to know that the process is over and I know where home is now. So I'm ready to get to work. I'm excited, and I'm definitely thankful that Coach Nation, decided to go with me.
Well, you know the history about quarterbacks in Indy, from Andrew Luck, of course, to Peyton Manning. How much excitement do you have knowing you're going to a place where a city loves its QBs?
I'm definitely excited. You just named two legends right there that were here before me. I'm excited, to start running in that race, and it's going to definitely push me to be the best version of myself that I can be.
Yeah, I had tweeted this out tonight. You have the most upside than anybody in the NFL draft. We know you only played 13 games before it started. Give me your thoughts on just what does it mean to you? You are a top 5 pick already here.
It feels good. Despite me not playing as many games as everybody else, my film, I guess, is shown enough of what I can be. And Coach Steichen and those guys, they believe in me and they trust me and they believe they can develop me, and I believe they can do the same thing as well. So, I'm glad they chose me, and I'm ready to get to work. All
right, and final question here: your message to those Colts fans back there in Indianapolis is?
Hey, it's your boy AR. I'm ready to get to work. You don't ever have to, question my work ethic. Because I'm gonna be the best version of myself, and God's willing, we're gonna bring the Super Bowl home.
Colts fans, get ready, because one thing is for sure, Anthony Richardson, he wants to deliver for you beginning this upcoming season. He was asked the question, will you possibly be ready to go week 1? He says, oh, yes. They didn't pick me this high to be sitting on the sidelines. It should be interesting. But there is no doubt this morning, a lot of buzz about the Colts' new quarterback and Anthony Richardson here in Kansas City. Anthony Calhoun, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and be sure to like us on Facebook.
Richardson is already up to speed on his new team's hashtag. Soon after he got the news, Richardson tweeted simply, #4theshoe. He also got to connect with his younger brother. Corey is 13. He's been a big fan, friend, and supporter. The NFL shared the video call between the two that got Big Brother pretty choked up.
Keep up the great work and know that I'm always here to support you in all your future adventures. I love you, bro.
Hey, man. Hey, man. Appreciate that, little bro. Hey. Love, for real.
And Colts fans are also reacting to the draft pick. Ale Emporium in Castleton was filled last night with a watch party. People there to just see who was drafted to whom. The people we spoke to say they are excited to see what Richardson's going to bring to the Colts.
Saw him at the combine and how athletic he was, and just his metrics were off the chart. I think Richardson showed at the end of last season that he could be a pretty good player.
Richardson is only the third quarterback to be drafted by the Colts in the first round in franchise history. Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck are the only others.
Yeah, that Joseph Newgarden looks like a Greek god, in his without his shirt on. I knew he was strong, but that was impressive, I gotta say.
That's what defending Indy 500 champion Marcus Ericsson had to say that he learned from the first episode of 100 Days to Indy. We did catch up with Ericsson after the docuseries premiered last night. The 6-episode series takes a look at the journey leading up to race day and how drivers get prepared. Last night's episode focused on Ericsson, Joseph Newgarden, and Scott McLaughlin. Ericsson says he hopes the show puts a new focus on IndyCar.
I think the IndyCar series is the best series out there in the world. It's the most competitive series. It drives from all over the world. We go to some amazing tracks, but we need more people to follow the series, because everyone that starts following it, they love it because the racing is so great. It's so dramatic. It's so unpredictable. So I think this series, what we're hoping is that a lot of people are going to see this series and be like, hey, I want to watch IndyCar racing, and come and see us on the races, watch us on, follow the season and stuff like that. So I think this series is going to be huge for us as a sport.
You can catch every episode on Thursday nights at 9 o'clock on Wish TV. Central Indiana's biggest traffic headache could soon ease significantly, maybe in just hours now. INDOT says it is ready to reopen the North Split. INDOT says it will reopen the interchange this weekend as long as the weather allows. INDOT has gradually opened sections of the interchange over the last several months. The final links are the I-65 lanes, which are set to reopen in stages over the next 2 days. Once that happens, INDOT will lift the detour on 465, and if all goes as planned, all lanes will open by Monday. The reopening of the 65 lanes does not end all of the work, though. INDOT says crews will still be working on the ramps to and from downtown for the next month.
Why are a small group of people able to determine what the children of our community can and cannot read?
As a parent, I believe it's my responsibility to watch out for my children, not to have other people watch out for my children.
More community members in Hamilton County are expressing frustration about a policy change at the Hamilton East Public Library. The library board voted last night to more clearly define what would lead a book to be pulled out of the sections meant for young readers and moved to areas intended for adults. The policy now lays out a list of terms considered grossly offensive and says books with crimes involving violence will move too. 11 people spoke at last night's meeting. No one explicitly spoke in support of the policy. Some called for a compromise, a section for flagged books.
Our family supports the idea of a family resource collection or parenting selection area near the children's books or in the children's books area or the teen section instead of putting those books in the adult section. We don't need to send the young people into those areas.
The board had one person thrown out of the meeting for directing an expletive toward a board member. As police escorted him out, he called the board pigs. Others object to the price. The board estimates the project will cost more than $335,000 over 2 phases. From item 8, the Madison County Coroner's Office is facing thousands of dollars in fines for storing bodies in the freezer of a barn with a gravel floor. A whistleblower tells item 8 that issue is just the tip of the iceberg. The State Department of Labor says it found 6 serious violations, from no running water to improper disposal of contaminated laundry and needles. Catherine Callahan is a former deputy coroner for the county. She says she turned the county into the Department of Labor after the death of Elwood police officer Noah Shanovez.
To remove the body from the hearse, and we get it on the gravel road or flooring, and it's so hot, the family, the honor guard is just sweating, and they're asking, do we have any ventilation? This is the best we've got.
The state tells ITMate the coroner's office could face a $22,500 fine if leaders do not correct those violations. Today, the annual FDIC 9/11 Memorial Stair Climb. Each year, firefighters from across the country pay tribute to the firefighters killed on September 11th of 2001. Today, they're set to climb 2,200 steps in Lucas Oil Stadium for a total of 110 stories, representing the number of floors in the Twin Towers. Opening ceremonies begin at 1. The climb starts at 1:30. Former Vice President and Indiana Governor Mike Pence has testified before a federal grand jury investigating efforts to overturn the 2020 election. That's according to CNN and the Associated Press. Both cite an anonymous source who says Pence's testimony happened hours after former President Trump lost an appeal to prevent that testimony. According to CNN, Pence testified for more than 5 hours. It's not clear yet what Pence told the grand jury behind the closed doors. As we've reported, prosecutors wanted information about Pence's phone conversations with Trump regarding January 6th. Emmett Till's accuser has died. Carolyn Bryant Donham was 88. In 1955, she touched off one of the pivotal moments of the civil rights movement, accusing Till of flirting with her and whistling at her, leading to his lynching. A jury found Bryant's husband and another man not guilty in the death. Bryant Donham's claims against Till have long been in question. A historian says she recanted most of her story in a 2007 interview, but Bryant Donham never confirmed his claims publicly. Emmett Till's cousin is the last living witness to Till's abduction. Reverend Wheeler Parker Jr. says in his new statement, "Our hearts go out to the family of Carolyn Bryant Donham. As a person of faith for more than 60 years, I recognize that any loss of life is tragic and don't have any ill will or animosity toward her. Even though no one now will be held to account for the death of my cousin and best friend, it is up to all of us to be accountable to the challenges we still face in overcoming racial injustice." News 8 talked with Parker as part of an award-winning special, The Living Truth, The Emmett Till Story. Our Alexis Rogers talked with Parker about what he saw and heard on the night Emmett Till was murdered.
I got up, I said they're coming back, I put my shoes on. Because I didn't like that barefoot by this time. And I'm heading for the woods. It seemed like daylight would never come. I didn't go to Simeon's room. His brother was in a side bed in there. He didn't wake up. The room next to him, Curtis, was in there. When he went to his room, he didn't wake up. In the bed with me, Malcolm Maurice, he never woke up. So only 2 people that were awake, unbeknown to each other, me and Simeon. And we were in different rooms, but no lights in the house.
Was Simeon in the same room as Emmett?
Same bed. They were in the bed together. And they came in. Yeah. Simi woke up. While they were talking to him, I think they told him to lay back down and go to sleep. When they got out to the car, Papa said he heard a light voice said, he's the one.
The special just earned a top documentary award from the Society of Professional Journalists. You can watch it all at your fingertips. Go to wishtv.com and look in the As Seen on Wish TV section. And to business headlines. A tax loophole makes EV leasing a no-brainer in the U.S. An exemption in the Inflation Reduction Act is worth $7,500 to drivers who lease. EV leasing has been on the rise since the U.S. Department of Treasury opened the loophole by characterizing leased EVs as commercial vehicles in December. Lumber prices continued their downward trend, falling 4% toward multi-year lows. The decline in lumber came amid an unexpected decline in March, pending home sales, and as the industry seeks a balance in supply and demand. Employees at tech giants like Google and Salesforce say they are finally filtering back into the office out of fear they'll get cut if they don't. Office occupancy has slowly been ticking up. It's according to data from Castle Systems, which measures occupancy rates. Even San Francisco employees are coming back to the office with 44% occupancy. Cannabis stocks jumped as lawmakers sought again to pass a bill to protect banks that work with legal pot farms. The proposal is aimed at dealing with safety concerns stemming from legal cannabis businesses being locked out of banking services. They say forcing legal businesses to operate in all cash is dangerous for our communities. It's an open invitation to robbery, money laundering, and organized crime. Southwest is the worst airline in the U.S., according to a new study. WalletHub named Delta the best U.S. airline for the second year in a row. It ranked the airlines on lost baggage, on-time performance, and canceled flights, among other things. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand for even more on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.